Welcome everyone to the show. I am your host Don Vic. What's up? What's up? This is the place we find new talent, new faces, and upcoming stars here live on the show all the time. What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? It's Saturday night. I hope you guys are having a great night. Um, Fortunately, it's snowing out here in Boston. I'm sure it's snowing in New York and Connecticut and all these cities next to the East Coast. Um, but we move on and we do the best we can. Okay. So Jesus, just want to thank everybody for supporting the Don Vic Show, everybody that tunes in. It's a new year and hoping we bring in some new stuff here to the show. Other great guests here to the show. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, folks. Want to shout out all my TikTok fans, all my TikTok friends. I've been on TikTok lately, and I've met some amazing people on TikTok. And so hopefully we can get some new people here on the show from TikTok to join here the show. So big shout out to everyone on TikTok, Instagram, that also follows, and of course YouTube. Big shout out to you folks and everybody else around the world that tunes in. Tonight we're gonna have my good friend Sean Ellis here on the show tonight. Um, we'll be talking to him in a little bit, about 20 minutes, something like that. He'll be popping up. We'll be talking to him and finding out exactly what he got going on. I know he got a show. He got a show going on with the paranormal. I'm very big on the paranormal stuff, right, folks? You guys know that. And I just recently went on an investigation with Susan Victoria. She is a medium and also a paranormal investigator. She's an amazing woman, overall, and a great friend to me. Also, big shout out to Nicole Vegas, Sean C. Phillips. I always got to shout out these guys because they're great people, good friends of mine, and I always like to shout them out because they're amazing. And also, you know, uh, like I said, Desert Fiends should be out this month, anytime soon. I gotta just talk to Nicole and find out if it's came out already. A lot of people want to see the film. I want to see the movie, and I got a lot of people asking me about the film. So once I get the information from Nicole, I'll let you guys know exactly what platforms guys can go to and check out the film. Also in April, Nicole will be putting together Desert Fiends 2, which is going to be another part of Desert Feed 1, and I'm excited. I want to know what Nicole got going on. So as soon as I get King and get Nicole, I'm gonna bring her back on the show, and we're gonna talk about Desert Fiends 2. Pam, how you doing, my queen? Hope everything is great. Pam is an amazing woman. She is a card reader and also part of some paranormal stuff. Okay, but definitely a card reader. She's amazing. You can check out her page. She's awesome. And of course, my phone is off the hook. Um, so make sure you guys follow Pam. Pam is awesome. Okay. IG, big dog, my man. IG in the building. What's up? What's up? Happy New Year's. Happy everything. Have you know what I'm saying? What's the vibes, IG? Okay. Big shout out to my YouTube followers as well. If you're watching, if you want to put any comments, you can follow me on Victor Santiago on my Facebook page, and you can leave your comments, or you can leave your comments here. I just can't see your comments, YouTube. Okay, because I'm on the Facebook page. Always, Pam. Always. Anything new, Pam? You doing anything new? You got anything going on? I'll be having Sean on in a little bit. I'm just waiting for him to get home so he can pop on the live and we can talk to him about his show. His show's been doing great since the last time he started his show. It was a little slow, but he's been having some great guests on his show. So we're gonna bring Sean on and kind of see how things are progressing on the X Wolfpack paranormal show podcast. Actually, my man. That's right. Because sharing is caring, folks. Sharing is caring. Thank you, Pam. Thank you so much. T-Bone, what's up, baby? T is funny that you pop up because I was thinking about you today. I saw a post you had posted up with a friend of yours. I'm not too sure where you guys were at, um, and what the guy had in his hands, but I'm sure it was something that you came up with of supporting the community. And you are an amazing guy, and you know, you're a great supporter to the people. And we need more people like you in this world, that care about other people, not just yourself. That goes a long way, my brother. And you're blessed. You are blessed. And the funny thing is that if anybody look at you from the first sight, they won't even, because you got a strong character, and people always say they will judge a books by its cover, which they shouldn't. But you look intimidating for someone to approach you. But I know you, and I know your heart, and I know you're a great guy, and that's why I like to, shut you out and talk about you, because you're doing something that a lot of people should be doing. Okay. And I just want to say that I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm honored that you're a friend of mine. And and maybe someday we're going to meet. We're going to meet maybe in the summer. I can drive out to North Carolina where you at, and maybe we can do something together. Maybe we can put something together. Don Big Show and T-Bone live, out in North Carolina, supporting the community. Maybe do a block party, a block party for the people. Bring out the food and sign autographs and stuff like that. That would be great for the community. Greg, what's up, Greg? How you doing, my brother? My man, 50 grand. Greg crossing the building. Greg is a paranormal investigator, folks. For those of y'all that don't know who Greg is, because Greg is he's like a shadow, right? If you're not on his show, he barely pops up. Right? And he's with his good friend Crazy Reggie, right? Crazy Reggie X. That's his new name. Crazy Reggie X, also a paranormal investigator. They have a show together, a great show. They be having me on their show a lot on their platforms, and they're amazing. You guys should check them out. Reggie X and Greg are two great people, and Anthony as well, also another paranormal investigator and a podcast talk show host. They're great people. Usually, they come in they come in at night. Greg and Reggie like the night owls. They come in at 11 o'clock. They want to bring me into the show where I'm half asleep. You know what I mean? I'm half drooling and shit. You know what I mean? I'm half drooling, and they want to talk to me. Okay, and they want to talk to me at midnight. Okay, where I'm half awoken and half asleep. They never catch me when I'm up like I am now. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with these two. Okay. You okay? Well, you're not the only one. A lot of people getting sick, and that's going around the world, not just you. I'm sick. People at work sick. Some of my friends in Colombia have the same cough I got. People out in different side of the world are having the same symptoms. So that's funny that you say that. Is it another virus going around? Is it what is it? So, but I hope you're getting better, Pam. Because you are the sun, you are the rain. Mm-mm. That makes my life a foolish game. And you need to know I love you so, Pam. And I do it all again and again. Whoa, Pam. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Uh, I love the way you feel, Pam. I need your love for always, 'cause when I'm with you, I fall in love, girl, again and again and again. again, baby. You are the sun, you are the rain. Woo! That makes my life a foolish game. And you need to know, Pam, I love you so. Mm. And I'll do it all again and again. Yeah, we in the building, baby. You know how I do it. I got to get my girl going, boy. That's right. Hit that button, baby. Hit that button. What's up, Mary? What's up, mama? Sending you mad love. What's the vibes, baby? We're here, man. It's a new follower here on the Don Vic Show. She's an amazing woman, great woman, great friend of mine. And thank you for logging in. Appreciate you. So, folks, that's what it's all about. It's about communicating with people, making people happy. This is what the show is all about, bringing people here to talk about their um upcoming projects, anything that you might want the world to know um about, what you're doing as far as projects, and if you're an author, book writer, you want to come here and you want to talk about it, this is the platform where you want to do. I just want to send also my regards to you know to California as well. California is going through it right now with all that fire that's going on in California. So I just want to make sure all my friends out in California doing okay. They're safe from that fire, because is that over there is devastating. It truly is. And I don't know how those people are going to come out, or what's going to happen there in California. Uh, yes, Sean does. Sean is amazing. Pam, you remember when when Sean first started, his show was iffy, because he started and stuff, but um he came back. He came back with full force, right? Pam, he came back with full force, and um he did leave Channel 12 TV network as well. He left it. He came back to be in Sean the X-Pac Wolfpack paranormal podcast show. So he's been back. He's brought some new followers, and his show has been going fabulous. So he's gonna come here on the show in a few minutes. He just at home. I mean, he went out to go grab something, but he's gonna come on the show. We're gonna talk to him a little bit and find out exactly, what he's been doing, what he's planning on doing. If we're going to go into any investigations in the future, what he got planned for 2025. So he'll be on here in a little bit. I'm just kind of like keeping you guys busy till he get it here on my platform, so I can bring him up and we can talk to him. Also, I have a director, filmmaker coming on the show too next week. His name is Celeb Mikes, something like that. I can't recall his name right now, but we're gonna bring him on the show. He was recommended to me by Nicole Vegas, also my good friend. And we'll be talking about his upcoming films and his past films here on the show next week. So that so stay tuned for that show as well. Folks, it's a great thing for me, because I see everyone working. I see everybody uplifting themselves. I see everybody working hard and putting in the best foot forward to become better talk show hosts, to have a better podcast. Like I said, I've been doing this for like 6-7 years, so I'm kind of used to the camera, used to the camera, and used to the people watching me. Okay, and I say, please don't ask me for no autographs. Okay, I'm not signing any autographs at this point. Okay, and also, hold on, I want to also show some books that I like to promote from my good friends. That this is a book from my good friend Shauna Gibson, Queen G Live Experience. Um, and she signed this book for me. May she rest in peace. Shauna Gibson was the sister of Tyrese Gibson from Fast and the Furious. This was a sister. Her and I were very good friends. I met her in L.A. And she gave me this book. This book is about talks about her journey of 30 years of being a talk show host, um, and a promoter for hip hop. Okay, and it's a great book. She got pictures here with amazing artists from the industry, which we all know who they are when we see them. Um, you know, from 2 Chainz to you name it. Okay, and I miss her so much. I really do, because she always used to hit me up. She taught me the game of becoming a good podcast and how to interact with people, stuff like that. So big shout out to Queen G, may she rest in peace, and big shout out to her family, also her husband Eddie Bell. Big shout out to Eddie Bell. Big shout out to Tyrese Gibson, um, and my good friend Shauna Gibson. There she is again. I love her very much. So that's one book that was signed for me. I like to promote people's stuff. This book is also was given to me and has been also signed from Hank Garrett. Hank Garrett used to be a police officer, used to run on the streets with the mob, and then he went out to Hollywood and he became a big star in Hollywood. Um, Hank Garrett has been in the industry for over 30, 40 years, from John Wayne to Clint Eastwood. He's worked with all these amazing people. There he is right there. You probably guys know who he is if you see his face. He's been a cop. He's been in a lot of movies. Okay. Um, and I met him. I met him out in Hollywood as well with my good friend that I met out there, and she introduced me to Hank Garrett. Great guy, great book as well. Um, Also, another book by my good friend Luciano out of Staten Island, New York. This is his new book called Howling in Brooklyn. Um, this is an amazing book. Is Werewolf Against the Mob. Okay, which has never been heard before. Okay, Werewolves Against the Mob, and he's on his second book. Okay, I've been trying to read. I read some of it, and it's very interesting. Okay, because I'm trying to read all these books. But this book, you guys can catch it on Amazon if you're interested in watching it. I mean, reading it. He's also trying to work on the film, and I'm trying to get on this movie as well with Mr. Luciano. Hopefully, I can get a a scene in this film. Okay, so big shout out to my man Luciano. Big shout out to Staten Island, New York. You already know the vibes. We in the building, baby. Okay, and this other book I have here. This book here is called Eyes of a Survivor. Now, this book is very interesting. And Catherine Janashi, as you can see here, and you see the pistol. She has an interesting story. Her lifestyle from being in the in working with the mob to also being a user to fighting all her demons and getting back on track and being herself. And she became an author and wrote this book about her lifestyle. Now, I always said that when women get deep into the drugs, it's hard for a woman to get out of it, right? To get out of the drug game. Um, and this woman did it all. She was working with mob. She was working the streets. She became an addict. And the beautiful thing about this book is how she got out and she got clean and she became an author and an amazing woman. Okay. So, I got some amazing books here and, you know, I read them when I'm bored. And again, it's a beautiful thing to see people come out of their darkness, come out of their um situations that they're in, and we get a great story at the end. And those are the stories that I like to talk about and bring people here on my show to talk about these amazing stories that people talk about, um things that they went through in life and how they overcame these situations in their lives, right? Because you never know who's going through in a situation at that point in their lives, right? And hi sis, love you. um and it's always good to talk about it because any information that you give out to anyone or just even in general, you don't know who you might be saving, right? Or giving someone a an idea that maybe they didn't have in their head on how to process it to get out of their situation, all right? Because you survived it. And a lot of people are, some people are ashamed of certain things that happen in their lives because they don't want to talk about it. But those demons still live inside of them. And sometimes it's always good to vent with people where you can get that stuff out, and makes you feel a little better about things. You know what I mean? Yeah, T-Bone. Yeah, yeah, my sister. Yeah, I was actually over there today. Ate some sushi, made some soup for me. It was amazing. So, folks, that's what this show is all about. And and I always like to show my my award, because I like to inspire people and say that if I can get an award for being one of the best talk show hosts, you can do it. And I put it here all the time so that you guys can see and hopefully inspire some of you guys to want to be better at what you do as a talk show host, actor, comedian, whatever it is that you are. Um, you put your best foot forward and you move forward, right? And you try to accomplish these things. You made a custom made license plate. Give it to a guy that God lead me to. Okay, that's what it was. It was a license plate. Okay, well that's good. You know, T-Bone, you're doing great things for the community and for the people, and that's what it's all about. It's about helping others, and by doing so, God blesses you. You know what I mean? Put good people in your path. So that's great. You know, we need more good people like you in this world. This world needs some healing, especially California. Right at this point, it's like fire all over the place. And I still need to call some of my other friends in California just to make sure that they doing all right. So it's a very scary moment. It's devastating over there. Um, we don't know. Last time I checked, 20 people died, that they know of. We don't know how many really died. That downtown LA, it's a lot of homeless people live downtown LA. So they're not counting those people. Okay. So there could be hundreds and thousands of people that um, perish in this flame that they're not talking about. So we'll see. We'll see what the outcome will be. And hopefully they can get rid of that fire. I heard they tamed like 11% of it was tamed. Um, but we'll definitely check it out. But right now I want to play a song from my good friend John Harvey, and it's a God song, and I love this song because it touches me, you know what I mean? And I want to play it. Maybe it'll help some of you guys as well. Um, so I just want to play it, just kind of like bring the vibe. Blood of the cross washes over me, gives me strength, gives me hope. Blood from the man nailed to the cross for you and me. Take away the sins of the world. Jesus never tapped out. Jesus never quit. Jesus never tapped out. In his corner, I'm gonna sit. Jesus never gave up. Jesus never quit. No matter how tough the road, Jesus never gave up. Jesus never quit. To lift the sins from the world. Jesus never tapped out. Jesus never quit. Jesus never tapped out. In his corner, I'm gonna sit. On the third day, the resurrection, Jesus rose from the dead. Rose from the dead. The tomb was empty, but he filled our hearts with the Holy Spirit. Jesus never tapped out. Jesus never quit. Jesus never tapped out. In his corner, I'm gonna sit. Jesus never tapped out. Jesus never quit. Jesus never tapped out. In his corner, I'm gonna stay. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was John Harvey, good friend of mine. Big shout out to him. That song is amazing. So, folks, I finally got here my guest, Sean Ellis, great guy, paranormal investigator, um, and we're gonna bring him up here. We're gonna talk to him and find out exactly what he got going on, and see what interesting things he's going to be doing for 2025. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only, the Don Dada, the god of all gods, of the paranormal, the slickster, my man, 50 grand, 50 G's, Sean C. Ellis. What's up, Sean? Sean, how you doing, bro?
Guys, how are you? I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good. So you finally got back, huh?
Yeah, I was just got to Walmart when you text me, and I had to grab a few things, and I just got in the door. So
cool.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my viewers about you earlier, how great and proud I am of you coming back to the spotlight here in Facebook and YouTube and StreamYard. Coming back from Channel 12 and bringing the show back because we missed you here, and I was remember you starting when you first started that everything was moving slow, you wasn't as popular as you are today. So
right.
kind of like tell me how everything kind of like boosted up for you.
Well, you want me to start at the very beginning, or do you want me to just start here recently?
That would be nice.
Last January, I left my former team that I was on, and I created a new one. I wanted things to be better. I wanted to be able to help more people and be able to learn more things and not be so limited. So I handpicked about 5 people that came onto the team. I think some of them are still here. Some of them started things on their own, which is fine. And all good with that because, I don't want anybody not to be interested in the paranormal, and I want them to be able to learn. So I'm not ever going to block anybody from learning. But no, I started in a new team. I went to a couple places. Things started picking up pretty good with them. Started getting a little more noticed through time and stuff. And I was co-hosting with Pam Harris on Serene Divine there. Pam Harris is an amazing person. I was co-hosting with her for a little bit before I started my show. And then I started the Eternal Ex-Wolf Pack Paranormal, the podcast, and it's been going well ever since. I mean, I've had a lot of great guests that's been on the show. You've even been on it there, Don. And like I said, a lot of great people, and I appreciate all the people that's following and supporting me as well,
Right. And, the thing is, Sean, you and I talk a lot. People don't know that we talk behind the scene and stuff. You and I are very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that a lot of people don't understand the paranormal, right? And when, I always say that you guys admire me because you guys go out there, you guys do investigations to try to bring the light and evidence to the people that don't believe in the paranormal.
Exactly.
And that's why I went out that day with Susan to experience that myself personally, to see what type of energy I was going to get out of this house. And I did get energy. I seen orbs. We did have something fall over inside the glass table. I don't know if you saw it, but I actually got to see what fell over.
I went back to kind of look, and I couldn't spot it, but I kind of wondered, like I said, when you guys were on the show that night, if something actually did fall, and if you guys would catch it, if you went back and looked for it, and most of you did, to debunk it, so that's a good thing. That's awesome.
Right. So I caught it. It was on the top shelf. It was about this big, and you can see it from just fly off. Like it wasn't like, when something is leaning and you can see it like fall slowly.
Right.
It looked like it was pushed off because the way that it came off that top shelf, it came off with speed, and it made that loud bang.
It did make it. It did.
Right. Right. So that kind of proved to me that, someone was there
Mhm.
spiritually. So, you
I
know,
agree.
so you being a paranormal investigator, right?
Mhm.
What what is something you would tell someone that it's not in the paranormal world and doesn't believe that something exists?
It's hard to get people to believe if they don't believe at all. Um, to experience it firsthand would change your mind. The first thing that we always do in the paranormal field, at least my team does, and I know a lot of other teams do that I support as well, is to debunk everything, to try to find out what caused it, if there was anything that caused it. If we can't prove that it was us or something along of a loose board in the floor that caused it to do it, or somebody bumped it, or etc., and nobody else was around, it's got to be something abnormal. It's got to be in a different category. As long as you try to debunk everything, and to get
Right.
people to understand that, it's hard sometimes because some people, how do I say, only think one way. And if you think open minded in trying to debunk things
Mm-hmm.
and then coming around to say, okay, nothing here that is around could have done that. So it has to be something abnormal. And then you got to
Right.
go beyond. You got to think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot of energy for a spirit to move an object. It takes tremendous amount of energy to do that. But they can touch cat balls. They can make them light up. Um, I've seen them touch what I call Sparky, is like our electro coil. It puts off little
Oh.
sparks of energy. And you can see if somebody gets close to it, like you would a Tesla coil, it makes a different color and it
Mm,
starts following the finger or following whatever's there. So, with using some of the equipment and some of the items that we've got, like the REM pods, where you have to have something to touch it to activate it, or
right.
otherwise it won't work. That's just another way to prove that there is actually something there, and especially if nobody's around it. So, it, like you were kind of skeptic,
Yes.
for a long time, and like we've always talked before,
Mm-hmm.
and you finally went out and checked it out for yourself. So I guess the question is, for you being a skeptic now, or was a skeptic, how would you explain it since now you've got a different view of it?
Okay, so now you're interviewing me. Okay, good question. You interviewed me on my own show. Okay, well, you know, I was never skeptic about it, I would say, because I knew about it. I just
Mhm,
didn't I just didn't have the experience, right, of being there.
mhm. True.
But I always knew and always believed on the other side, that there was spirits and stuff like that. I just
Mhm,
didn't know as much as you guys know and never
mhm,
experienced. But from my experience going there, um, I tell you, it was an amazing feeling because I went there with Susan and we were sitting in the car and she says to me, let's go in front of the house so you can look at the house. From
mhm,
the outside, it's beautiful. I said, sure. So we got out of her car, we walked over to where the front of the house, and when we looked at it, I looked up and there was this like room. We had three windows, but it was round like this, right? It was like
mhm,
sticking out round and it was dark. And I said to her, wow, this is a big house. But there's something about that area right there that's like there's something there, and that was
mhm.
me feeling that.
Right.
So we went back to the car, whatever. Make long story short, we go in there, we get a tour of the house, and we go to that room, right? That stuff that thing
Mhm,
fell. We went there three times. I went with the first tour, then I went in by myself, and then the
mhm.
third time I went in with Susan, and that's when that thing tipped over inside of the glass,
Right.
right? So I said to her, "There's something in this room." So when we do the tour or whatever, then she sets up her equipment and we start doing the investigation. She starts talking to John, I mean
Mhm.
George, on the floor, and John starts to move this pendant she has.
Mhm.
You see the pendant moving like this, and she's asking them question. Are you here by yourself? Yes or no? And she asks if there's any other spirits here. And
Right.
then orbs started to come out, and I'm watching the orbs on my phone flying through my phone. I'm like, oh my OMG, right? I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm finally getting some type of connection. And then we heard the sound in that room, on the side of the room, where I told her I felt that energy.
Mhm.
So to me, it was a great experience. It was um, something that I proved to myself that I am spiritual, right?
Right.
Because even before we went in, I already had that room was like calling me. It was like telling me something,
Mhm.
and then that happened. The thing fell over in that same room, so I knew
Mhm.
that there was something in that room. Um,
Right.
so I do believe in the paranormal. And for those that don't believe, you have to go out and have this type of experience um, to know, or even catch something, so that you can see yourself live,
Mhm.
uh, that there is another side besides life itself.
Yeah. One thing that a lot of people I don't think realize, we are made of energy. We
Yes,
we as a human being are made of energy,
correct.
and that energy will pass on and go somewhere else. So it'll go into the next dimension, or it will go to whatever religion you respect. Some people think you go to heaven, some people think you go here, some people, etc. It's on what you believe. So, and you never want to disrespect anybody's religion either, because you want to be able to help them understand what they're seeing as well. And if you can do it with their religion, that's better yet. If not, then you go and you show them, like you did when you went out and experienced it for yourself, that things do happen. There have been locations, and I'm sure Susan also told you this when you guys went out, that you may not get nothing at all. You may not get anything at all the whole night,
Right.
not one thing. And then the next time you may come back, you may get something, or you go to another location. It may be extremely, how do I say, having a lot of energy there, and a lot of things happen and you catch things. So it's just all depends. And if you go in there with an open mind and to investigate, you're there to investigate, to debunk first and foremost.
Right.
Then the second is, is there something supernatural there? Is there something of a paranormal there? Is, like you said, you debunk things first and then you go back to find out why it happened.
Right.
Some of us, like you said, you felt a presence there at that building when you got there, that
Mhm.
something was there. And
Right.
some of us are capable of doing that. That's what they call an empath. And that's
Mm,
like one of your sixth sense. And
okay.
everybody is capable of doing that if they train their mind to do it.
Right.
So it just takes time to do it. And meditation is the key to a lot of that as well.
Mm, mm. So, I know you got your team now, and you put a team together. When will be your next investigation, and where are you planning of going?
Well, first, when the weather clears up, it's like 25 degrees here right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going outside and freezing, and I
Right,
don't
right. I
expect
get
you
it. Code.
to do either. So
Right.
when the weather clears back up, we are definitely going back to Steel Dam up in the Quad City area.
Okay.
We had a lot of activity go on there when we filmed the first time there,
Mm,
and we got a little bit of activity when we were alive at the time, but then afterwards we got more activity after we went off the air, and it was kind of alarming on some of the things we heard for the first time, because it come over our Ovilus it says I'm here.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, for the first time ever, I heard something like, you know, how you would call somebody's phone like back in the day and it would get a busy signal and go,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I thought that was extremely weird. So we started looking around. The team started scattering out, looking around because where we were at, one of my teammates said there has been missing kids in this area.
Oh, wow.
So that we definitely want to go back to as soon as the weather goes there, because like I said, it's disturbing when you hear something like that and it's pitch black, 12 o'clock at night. And then you're working around water, dams, and everything else. We want to go back a little earlier and start it so we got a little bit of light so we can go back and scout the area for anything that we may have missed to begin with. I've got a couple people that's wanting to go to a place called Empire Park. We're definitely going to go there this summer. I'd like to go down to South Carolina with some of our friends to do the Bigfoot thing.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would like to do that. And I got plans on going down there to meet a friend of mine as well.
Cool.
Also up towards St. Louis, I am planning on going up there if everything works out. There's a place and location up there, and I may even have our friend Mary join us if she's able to.
Mary Spezia?
Yeah, I may have her join us for that investigation up in that area. If I get a chance.
Big shout out to her. Big shout out to Mary, by the way. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, things will definitely pick up in 2025 without a doubt. I mean, even last night I was out on an investigation and I helped a client that had something going with things appearing in their car.
Oh,
because they actually hit something with their car. They hit a person with their car.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to go into a super amount of details about it, but they would look into the rearview mirror and see that person in the back seat.
Oh, wow.
And we actually got a couple shadow figures around the vehicle at the time last night as well that a teammate needs to send me, by the way, now that I think about it. That pretty much was the same person that was hit. And it was all by freak accident. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't anything. It was just a freak accident. And I pretty much sat there with the person that owned the vehicle and the spirit that came over the box, which was the person, and tried to give them a little closure between the two of them. Because it was a complete accident. It was nothing intentional. And I know both of them felt really bad on what happened. And I think he was just coming back to make sure she was okay as well and nothing happened after the fact. And I also know she had a younger child in the car when it happened that was like 10 years old. And she said it was definitely a different experience after we got done. And it was a lot lighter feeling, you know, that heavy feeling or that presence that you feel when somebody's around.
Yeah.
He says it definitely went away after we got done doing what we were doing. So that's a plus. And she said, you know, he could still come around as long as he didn't appear when she was driving to freak her out.
Oh, wow.
So, and, you know, they kind of come to a mutual understanding, which I think is a great thing. And I didn't have to force anybody to leave. And I think it was really helpful that both of them had a chance to talk to each other and clear the air of what happened, because she says she felt a lot better after we got done there. So that's what I always want to do, is be able to help the client to understand what's going on and be able to proceed, you know, to understand everything that's there. So I think that's a great thing that when people can do that. So,
you know, that's great. You know, and I imagine how many people around the world, thousands of people, you know, have these things happen and don't have help to help them understand what they're looking at and how to go about it. So this is why it's always great to have paranormal investigators on, you know, and and express what they know about this so that maybe they can reach out to you guys for help.
I
You
agree.
know, and yeah, that's that. You know, reach out for help to help them understand what they're going through, or what they're seeing, or how to approach it, what they need to do. Um, and there's thousands of people around the world like that, you
Hmm.
know, and have no clue how to connect with a private investigator or a empath, you know, a
Hmm.
medium, and ask these questions to come up to my house or come into my. I'm having these things happen in my house, and I don't understand it. I need to understand it so that we can move forward. So that's
Right.
why, that's why I admire what you guys do, because it's not just going into a place to investigate it, but to also teach them and show them how to deal with it, and what they need to do. So you're also just educating them as
Hmm.
well as helping them out.
And one thing you need to always do, respect the spirits. Don't go in there and torment and taunt them, because I mean they're just like me and you.
Right.
And in some cases, they may not even know they died. It may have been a traumatic shock, or it may have been just all of a sudden, and they may not even realize they are dead or passed away.
Right.
So, I mean, give them some respect. So that's always first thing as well, foremost.
Mm, cool. Um, okay, let me change the subject a little bit. What was your thought? Right. Let's go back. Let's get into some boxing stuff.
Okay.
What was your thought with the Mike Tyson and Jay Paul fight? What
My honest opinion,
yes,
uh, 100% rigged.
it was
I
100.
think I think Mike Tyson would have totally ripped him a new one, to be honest. And he had every opportunity to do it, and I seen him hold back, and to me that's sad. I mean, if I was a legend like Mike Tyson and I had an opportunity to fight a young buck and prove that I can still do it, I don't care how much money it would have been, I would have done it,
Right.
because I'm sure somebody would have picked him up and gave him plenty more endorsements after the fact of it.
Right. I agree. Look at Pam says absolutely rigged.
Hey,
See,
Pam.
I'm glad Pam said that because she's a female, and and she understands it. She can see it. Lots of people was like, "No, it wasn't rigged." Listen, if you are Mike Tyson fan and you follow Tyson when he first started, that's the
Hey,
first
Boogie.
time ever he fought that way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You, we understand him. We know how he fights. There was no way in the world that he fights the way he fought that night, and he gave it away. He let us know that he wasn't supposed to hit Jay Paul at all,
Yeah.
and he had opportunities, like you said, to really give him a good one, a couple of good ones, and he held back.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I definitely agree. And plenty of open shots with that right hook he's got, and it's lethal when he hits somebody that way. And it just wasn't his fight style. As he kept going in for the jab, he kept going in for the punch, and then all of a sudden you see him pull back. No, Tyson that I know would have went in there, took care of business, and just laid it out.
right. So you seen his practice before he even got to the ring. He did not fight nothing like he was in his uh practice preparing for the fight. He didn't even fight that way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Once he got to the ring, everything switched. It was like a switch, like boop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I didn't pay for the fight. I watched it for free. But if I would have been one of those people that I would have been really pissed off.
I would have been. I was voting for Mike Tyson 100% on that, because like I said, he had an opportunity to make a hell of a comeback, a hell of a stand, and to prove he still has it in him, and maybe, just maybe, one more shot, because he's still in pretty good shape for his age, even though he is. In the practices that I've seen him do, I mean, he may have had one more good one in him, just like the movie Rocky Balboa. He may have been able to say, hey, give me one shot. Just that's all I need. And he may have went in there and he may have gave it his all. But I would agree that he would have probably, if he would have had that opportunity, I think he would have gave it over 110%.
Oh,
not the way it was with Jake Paul.
Yeah, if you watch the fight, when Mike Tyson hit him with the jab, you seen how he flew back to the ropes, and that was just a jab.
Mm-hmm.
And then he held his right hand from hitting him when he was coming back, when he was coming under and over to hit him with that right hook, and he didn't even throw it. Jake Paul was wide open, and we know that Jake Paul was the guy behind the fight. He was promoting it, as well. Right. So it was more of a showboat fight, money type of thing. But I think that Tyson should have gave us some more. I mean, and at least make it look real.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I would. It didn't matter how much money it was. I'd have laid him out.
Yeah.
I'd have done it because, like I said, he would have got more back into the mainstream line laying him out than what he did now.
Yeah, whatever Jake Paul paid him for that was not compared with what he was going to make if he would have knocked him out like he should have, and could have. But he played the role, he played the game, and obviously, if he played it, he was probably happy with what was coming towards him. As far as financial, and he let it ride. He played the game.
I guess the thing that I would be concerned with, me being, an ex-cage fighter, retired champ, and cage fighting, just for the area that I live in, local area, having that opportunity to do that again and being able to stand with the young guys again. I'd want to give it to my 100%. I wouldn't want to go in there and just give it to them. And, even if being champ or retired champ, I'd still give them 100% of what I had. And it speaks volumes of that whole situation, because to me, it wasn't a fight like we used to see back in the old days, like with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier.
Yeah, those were real fights.
This was like, I can't believe what I just witnessed. And it's just sad, it's just sad.
It is very sad. It is 100%. 100% sad. And Pam says, I started watching Mike when he started. Anyone who knows him and boxing at all would know. Right, Pam, 100%,
And he pretty much, from what I seen of the fight, he controlled the center of the ring. And when you control the center of that ring, you control the match, because the guy on the outside, believe it or not, is actually working harder than the guy in the middle.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows boxing knows that strategy. You control the middle. So.
Right. You're right, 100%. Pam says there was not of Mike promotion that fight. Earlier years, he would have been running out of breath, spinning and mad as hell. That is not Mike we seen in the fight. No, not at all. We, it, Pam. I know it, Sean, and all Mike Tyson fans know that wasn't Mike that night. That's not the way he moves. That's not the way he fights. There was a lot of controversy back and forth that Jake Paul just beat him because he was younger. I mean, I get it, he was younger, but he didn't have the skills and that power that Mike Tyson has to really beat Mike. Because if he did, he would have knocked Mike out. He couldn't even knock him out.
Yeah.
You know? So I that's why I stopped buying fights and watching fights, because everything now has changed. Everything now is about money and who's going to be the next champion.
I kind of have to laugh a little bit now because I think a lot of sports, or how do I say, is rigged or manipulated by the system
Yes.
anymore. But one thing I got to say, at least I kind of got to respect the wrestlers from the WWE and etc. because they came out a while back. They said they're entertainers, but the question is this: they still leave you trying to guess who's going to win, even though everything's set, everything's predetermined. They still give you a hell of a show, and they still have injuries. It's
Yeah.
they go 100% on what they do in their trade, but I'd rather watch that than some of the things I see now, especially pro football.
Hmm.
You know, I see guys nowadays, how do I say, spaghetti arm tackling.
Yes.
When we were in high school, we used to get our ass ringed for shit like that. You
Yeah.
drove through those guys. You hit them at the waist and
Yeah.
you drive through them.
Yes.
You
Facts.
don't do this spaghetti arm crap, and they're making millions of dollars and watching
Yes.
these guys just trance right by them.
Yes. It's not fair at all. These people making billions of dollars, millions of dollars out of a show. It's like acting now. You know,
Mhm.
is acting, and now knowing that the NFL is rigged, just like the NBA, I don't see football like I used to see it anymore, or
Yeah,
basketball.
a lot of people doesn't see it the way we see it, but this year alone, I have seen more games determined by 1 point
Mm-hmm.
than ever before, or a lot of overtimes when
Yes.
normally that won't ever happen.
No.
That's
No.
normally rare, but this year was a ton of 1 point games and overtime games. And everybody says it's free agency. It's free agency. No, it's not, guys. They bust you on the spread, dude. They bust you on the spread.
You want to shout out Kathy Muhammad, my good friend, actress out of Virginia, or Virginia, right? Kathy, you're from Virginia, or DC, one of those areas. I know you're not from Baltimore, or maybe, but Kathy's amazing. Thank you for logging in. This is my friend Sean Ellis, paranormal investigator. This is my good friend Kathy Muhammad. She's an actress. Um,
So,
yeah, she's amazing. I'm bound to bring her back on the show this year. She's been doing a lot of great things as far as acting, and been in some things. I'm gonna bring her back, and we can talk to her and find out what you got going on, Kathy. Thank you so much for logging in. Tell Lacey Lace I said hello, another actress. They're amazing. So, Sean, what else would you see yourself doing besides the paranormal? Is there anything else that you would like to do besides the paranormal? DMV, okay. Baltimore.
I like to draw. Everybody knows. Anybody that knows me really well knows I like to draw. I'll sit and sketch. I draw. Sometimes I draw some of my backgrounds that you see.
Yes.
Miss Susan Victoria, your friend there and our friend, created
Mhm.
this background for me here that I got in the back right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
But that's why I got her name up there to give her credit for what she's done. But sometimes I'll draw some of my backgrounds and I'll lay them out and I'll put them up and etc. And I don't know. I like a lot of things in general, but I look at things a lot different than I used to now as well. So
Right.
my point of view on things are starting to change drastically on a lot, especially with some sports. I mean, I will watch a high school football game or a college football game over a pro football game any day.
A college.
yeah.
I watch a college game before I watch an NFL game.
Yeah, I will too. And like I said, I don't know. I like a lot of things. I just like a lot of things in general. So I try to stay busy. I try to stay occupied. Hopefully someday I'll be able to retire, maybe go to the beach, sit there with a margarita, and eat some chicken wings or something, and
that don't sound too bad. I might order some before tonight.
or some tacos on the beach of Cancun or something.
Oh
maybe
my
someday,
God.
but we'll see.
So Pam is asking, how do we feel about the Super Bowl, knowing what we know about the NFL? Well, to me, it's also rigged. You know, they already know who's going to win the Super Bowl. It's all, you know, gambling, and it's bigger than what we think.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely
bigger.
bigger.
And you got to see beyond what we see to understand what's going on behind the scene.
Right. And especially every way you can bet now on a game.
Yes.
And they're always going to try to get their money regardless. So yeah,
they don't lose. That's like a casino, Sean. The casino don't never lose. And you know, if you're going into a casino and you win 100,000, they want to put you straight up into their hotel. They don't even want you to leave. They'll send you right up to their hotel, put you in the suite, give you everything you want, thinking you're going to want to come down and give them back that $100,000 that you lost. You know, and when you say, no, I don't want it, I want to leave, they get mad. They don't want to let you go. Okay?
I'll go up there and order my food and stuff and stay the night, but I already sent my money to the bank, man.
Okay? They do not like to lose money, you know. So that's what they do. You win 100,000. Hey, you know, we got a suite for you upstairs. You know, no, I want to cash out and I want to walk out that door. They don't like that. They give you a hard time when you're walking away with 100,000 of their money. But you know, yeah, you're right. They don't lose. The same thing with the gambling. You know, they'll let you win a couple $100,000. They'll let you win a couple $100, maybe 1,000 too. You know, and they hook you into the game where they'll take back the 2,000 that you won plus what you put in.
Yeah.
So they don't lose. You know.
Yeah, everything's got a catch-22 or how do I say? A scam to it here anymore. And I guess the older I get, the more I see.
Yes.
And it's just terrible. It's just terrible, you know. Right. I think I'd rather go back to the 80s or the 70s.
All day.
Where I didn't realize how much stuff is actually being scammed and BS'd anymore. And you know, live like that, because I mean, it's every time you turn around, somebody's got their hand out and it's going in somebody's pocket. So
right. I agree 100%. You know, it's, you know, so many things happening nowadays that you know, I really don't understand what's happening in this world. Like things are like, games are not the way they used to. You know, we're living in an era now where everything's fast. A lot of things getting replaced. Jobs are getting replaced by robotics.
right.
You know, the presidency now is all a game. You know what I'm saying? You got people that are not even in politics, that don't even know about politics, getting into politics. You know, like Musk backing up Trump. Like, what does he know about politics? So
you could go beyond those two guys, because there's people that are not even in that whole situation at all that think they can control all of us, and I think that's sad.
It is.
You know, they just need to leave people alone. They need to let people live their lives, enjoy their lives, and quit putting high demands on everybody. It's retarded. You know, I think the country's been divided so badly, and it should be where we bond together and get along with people. And that's one thing I like to see within our paranormal field. You know, the ones, you know, that I always put up that little para-unity thing I got. You know, anybody that's always been on my show is always more than welcome to come back. And try to bridge that gap. You know, I'd like to see all of us get along, because one of these days I may come up with an answer that somebody needs and nobody may know it,
Right.
or they may have an answer to something I need. We don't know it, because everybody's kind of in it for herself, and we should be in it together to find out, because that's going to open up a whole new world. You know, it's
Yeah.
going to open up a whole different scenario when people start communicating better with each other and sharing information, because it's going to get you a lot farther sharing and getting along than it is being against each other and not saying anything at all.
Right. You know, I look at this like this is going to look like the movie Terminator in a couple years. Terminator. And we're going to have to get Mr. Conley to come out and help us out with these robots, because they're taking over. They got the cars. We got McDonald's in California. They got robots already replacing people's jobs. A lot of people are going to be out of jobs and homeless. It's gonna be a chaos. And like Pam is saying, it's all about controlling. That's 100% correct. It's about controlling. You know, that's what it's all about.
And you know, one thing I see that's really sad, you know, we've got veterans and people that risked their lives and done their lives and protected this country and given their lives in the call of duty, and they're homeless. And that's wrong. That's wrong. I mean, those guys should be respected and, you know, helped and not pushed to the side. That's just terrible in my book.
Right. Kathy said it's different. It's a different time. It's like a bad movie. It is. You know, it's not even about, like, you know, at this point, at this age, it's not even about color anymore. It's about survival. You know, it's about us unity, unite and fight this government trying to control us the way that they're doing. And they're doing it slowly but slowly. Now you get on the bus. Before you used to pay with cash and change. Now you have to tap in your phone, or you have to use a credit card to get on the bus. So they're trying to eliminate the dollar already.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They're trying to put these 15-minute cities in each country. And I don't want to say that LA is going through that process right now, because in order for them to build that city, they need land, right? So for them to need land, what they got to do, they got to get rid of the land that's already on there so that they can come in there and rebuild. And I'm not saying that's the case, but it's questionable.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, we the people have to be more awoken of what really is the agenda behind everything else that they're putting in our faces to keep us busy. Like, you know, all this P. Diddy stuff and all this stuff going on social media, trying to get us to focus on the stuff that they put up instead of us focusing on what's coming behind the scene, what's the agenda that these people are trying to do. And, you know, a lot of us are smart enough to see it, but there's going to come a point where we're going to have to stand up and, you know, fight for our freedom.
I agree.
You know, and that's why I said Terminator. You know, we're going to go against these people that they might send these robots. And, you know, you start to ask, why do these people have thousands of robots that they build? I mean, you don't just build something to let it sit in a location for no reason. You know what I mean? Government got thousands of robots built. They got robots that, you know, like Elon Musk is building. Then they got military robots that go out there and destroy. That's their mission, is to destroy. And they got hundreds of those robots. If you're not going to use them, then why are you building them? You know, so, you know, I mean, that's how far my mind goes. And I start thinking and putting things together, and I'd be like, man, we in trouble.
Yeah. Like I said, if I could go back to any time frame and era, I would probably go back to the 80s, where
yes,
football games, you know, after after school, when you played football with your teammates and stuff. And the whole town would go down there and watch the game on a Friday night or a Monday night, and etc. And you go to the movie theaters, you see your friends, or you go out roller skating, or get a bunch of people to go out to the park and play a volleyball game and stuff. It was more, everybody got along back in those days, and that's something that's hard to get back. And especially when everybody's divided the way they are, and the way they see things and how they've been taught. But like I said, you've got to have an open mind and see things for what they are. And some people, like I said, just don't get it sometimes.
Yeah, it's sad, but I'm with you 100%. We are, the generation that the 80s, the 90s, that I think those were the best times ever. I mean, like the late 70s, like 78 and up to like maybe 1998, something like that. Those were like the best years, man. You felt free. You can do what you wanted. There was no chaos. It just felt so good. And in those days, you can go places and don't worry about nothing. It was like you felt free. Now it's like you feel like you're caged up, and like Cassie said here, RoboCop realized, yes, Kathy. We can see the change. You and I, those people from the 80s, and we can see it. This new generation don't know nothing about the 80s and 90s because they didn't live it, but they didn't see the change that you and I can see now.
Right.
That's why we can see it. We can see what's coming because we lived the 80s and we see the transformation.
Right.
That's happening. These new generation, they don't know nothing about. They didn't see the transformation.
And something that people don't believe either. If you sit back and watch, from the history that we were actually taught when I was in school, history does repeat itself.
Yeah.
Why does it keep repeating itself? Why aren't we learning to stop repeating things?
Because it's an agenda and a cycle, that these people have. And the more we get stuck in that matrix and we stuck in that cycle, the poorer we get and the richer they get. Once they don't need us anymore, Sean, when they say, you know what, we got these robots that can do everything that a human can do, man, they're going to eliminate us because they're going to say, listen, I don't have to pay a robot $28 an hour. I can save that $28 an hour. This robot don't eat, don't sleep. It works. Why should I pay anyone any money when I can have these robots run my company?
Yeah, but there's always an old saying that gives me a little hope when it comes to robotics and engineering.
Yeah,
they're only as smart as the person that programmed them, and there's always somebody smarter than you in the long run somewhere.
Right. And I agree with that to a point because I saw a thing online where in China they were building robots, right? They built 3 robots and they had them inside of their facility. And something went wrong where the robots turned against them and they ended up taking 2 down. But the third one that was injured was already processing itself how to build itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're talking something that's futuristic, right? That listen, if they can sit there and program themselves, begin information from, from the technology to how to fix themselves, man, we're in trouble.
And I'll tell you something else that I was watching a show here. Was it last week or the week before? I was watching a podcast, right. And somebody, it was a program or an Alexa or something along that line, but it was broke. It was jailbroke, and they were asking it questions, and it was saying some of the answers you would never ever imagine that something like that would say. In being in the paranormal field, you can understand why it's saying that, because like you said, you could understand because we went back, we've done research on certain things and why it would say that. But for the common person that doesn't understand that and they hear something like that, it would turn their life upside down. It's like, whoa, wait, what is going on? What is being said in this thing? What is being programmed in this thing?
Right.
And the answers that were given on that show that night was just wow. And I would love to get my hands on one to sit and actually communicate with it to see what it would said and the answers that it would give. It was just wow. It said it lived beyond what we were humans on this planet. That's the answers it was giving.
Wow.
And that goes part into this new chips they have that's going into alternate realities, I guess, or how they say that, a next dimension or next gen chip.
Yeah.
That goes into the quantum realm. I guess that's the answer I'm looking for. The quantum realm. When you're getting answers like that and people doesn't understand what that is, that's going to be scary.
Yeah. Kathy's saying AI is the beginning, and she's real. The AI is the beginning. They asked this robot to our watch, and the guy says, "Well, what do you think about humans?" Some type of question, and she was like, "Humans will be extinct, in the future. We will run the world." It blew my mind because as soon as she said that, I literally thought about Terminator. And if you look at Terminator, it's kind of like the beginning of what we're having here, what's happening now. And the lady that wrote that book was a black lady, right? She's a black African American. She wrote that. She wrote that. And that was connected to something she was talking about what's happening now, that the Terminator, she wrote it because it was going to be the beginning of destruction for us today, meaning the future. Right. And she's so right, because if you look at Terminator, right back in the 80s when that movie came out, it's actually what's happening now.
Well, you've got to think of this as well, and I don't know if you all know who Jesse Ventura is. He used to have a show called Conspiracy Theories.
The wrestler Jerry Ventura.
Yeah, and he used to have a show called Conspiracy Theories, and he made a statement on there that holds very true. He said, what you see in the movie is possible, and certain people have possession of that stuff. And then you get to thinking, somebody else made a statement, what you see in certain movies, they're telling you that's going to happen to you, because that gives them the reasons like, hey, we already told you. Right. It's called television. It's telling a vision. It's telling a show.
Exactly.
And you look back to the Star Trek with William Shatner.
Yes.
Flip phones. Now we got video phones. We've got things like that. We've got, all sorts of technology that we've seen through certain shows, like
the Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons?
We go through scanners at the airport, identifies your face like it did in Total Recall, all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Now you're seeing stuff like in iRobot, with Will Smith, like you said, the robots that are starting to appear. You can't tell me that they haven't had some of this technology. And the other thing that's really concerning, I remember, I think it was in 1987 was the first time they ever cloned a sheep. And I think its name was Dolly, if I remember right. Now, 1987 to now, somebody's tampered with it already.
Oh, of course. How many people that are walking among us are probably clones or even reptiles or even robots that look so human like that are among us right now walking the earth and we don't know about it,
Right. Right.
right?
And
Or
like I
they're
said,
setting them up to attack whenever they're ready to whatever their agenda is to, take over. And these people start turning on us. You be like, who are you? And it's end up being a robot. You know what I mean? Uh, so it's very scary right now at this point.
yeah, I've heard of jailbreak, Pam. I know what it is.
Mhm.
Um,
So
but
I mean,
yeah,
I don't think you and I will be here for that, Sean. I don't think we'll be here for when that happens. I'm thinking maybe 20 years from now that might happen. Who knows? Because things are going moving so fast right now
right.
that anything can happen. Um, but I'd rather now than later, where now I can run, I can hide, I can fight if I have to. Not when I'm 90.
I, I'm the type of person, and I know some people can't handle this because they get anxiety or whatever the case may be.
It's
But
Dolly.
I'm the type of person. If it's out there, I want to know. That's
Yes.
why I got into the paranormal. I want to
Right.
know. I want to know what's out there.
Right.
I want to understand everything that's going on out there, and that's one of the reasons I got into the field with the paranormal and dimension and spirit and learning. And it's an open field. It's just not this. I mean, it goes into conspiracy theories. It goes into a little bit of everything because if you start digging, the more you dig, you realize some of it's linked together. So it's
Mm,
just not the paranormal.
right. Right. Pam saying, "Have you guys heard of Jailbreak?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the movie Jailbreak.
She's talking about like items like your fire sticks and stuff, I think.
Okay, yeah, Jailbreak. Yeah, I heard of that. Um, yeah, who's this Banshee? Yes, definitely way gone. Yeah, definitely. Um, Jailbreak is crazy. Yes, the
But
days are going really fast. You're not the first person that said that to me. I've heard people say that on TikTok. I've heard people say that to me at work. Like, have you noticed the days and months are going by so fast?
mhm,
It's like my
they are.
birthday's is coming around the corner. Like them, like man, I was just 50 something last week. now I'm
Yeah,
almost 60. Now I'm almost 60. 2 weeks later, you know what I
I
mean?
mean, we're 11 days into January 1st or
Uh,
the January month. And it just seemed like yesterday it was New Year's Eve.
right. And so you're right, Banshee. 100%. Something is not right. And we need to get to the bottom of this. I just really believe that. That's why I like the paranormal, because it has to do with researching, and I think at one point we're going to have to switch that to really researching other really important things that have to do with us as the people, and
Oh, I agree.
research what really is going down, because you know we got kids, we got parents, we got cousins, that we love and we need to take care of and look after, and we need to maybe change our ways as far as researching and looking into stuff. You know, not that the paranormal is not important or what I do is not important, but
Right.
you know, this to me is much more important, to find out what's coming our way.
And
You
like I
know,
said, like you get into conspiracy theories, some people just don't even believe in them. But, to
yes,
me, a conspiracy theory is a very fine line of the truth. And sometimes I think they just put it in front of you to make you believe otherwise, you know.
yes, yes. They've been putting it, Sean, in our face since we were kids. We just didn't know. How long have the Jetsons been around? Since we were kids. And the Jetsons were telling us the future. You
Oh,
know,
and here's the other one. How long have we been watching The Simpsons and everything that's happened in there?
okay? So it took us this long to understand what we was watching, you know, what we watching. A lot of people watch the cartoon and look at it as a cartoon, but they're not really looking at the message.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just see the cartoon and the Simpsons being funny and doing their thing. But now you and I look at the Simpsons and we're looking at it at a different perspective, and in a different way.
Exactly.
We're looking at like, what are you trying to tell us? What's the message here? You know what I mean? Um, and it took me a while to understand that because I didn't know, you know, but now I know.
Yeah, yeah. I actually haven't had TV in probably over 8 years. I'll catch clips of this or clips of that, and then if I'm curious about it, I'll start doing a little research on it to find out what is and what isn't. Or,
Mhm.
if I'm over at somebody's house, I'll catch a bit of the news or whatever. But I mean, some of the stuff that I see anymore, we learned that back when we were in school called propaganda,
Right.
and it's gotten out of hand in a lot of ways, and it's sad that people buy into some of it and not actually sit back and look deeper into it than what it is, because I think they would see what's actually going on if they did.
Right. Right. 100%. So, Sean, have you changing the subject a little bit? Um, with some of the investigations that you have done in the past, with some of your friends and stuff, have you ever thought of turning that into like a short film or like a uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a documentary?
Um, the last few months, I've been kind of thinking about writing maybe a book. To be honest, I mean, I've had a lot of experiences and a lot of different things with that, and how I got into it and why I believe what I believe, and kind of leave that into whatever it may come into, if that's were the case. Um, I just feel the fact that, if I'm able to help somebody understand what's going on, that's kind of my payback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, to let them understand what's going on, and to see how things are actually different. Um, but I have come across a few times thinking about sitting down and starting to write a book about some of the stuff, because I do have everything stored on my hard drive. I can go back and look at it and reflect on certain investigations that I've had and see them, so I could go back and write them down when I need to, so I don't forget. And the people that I've met, the people that has taught me things, and
Right.
I got to give them a lot of respect, for the fact of what they've taught me, and letting me able to learn those trades that they were able to pass over to me, and
Right.
I'd like to do that with other people too. I actually have a protege that I'm helping right now train her. And like I said, I will help anybody that needs help. And
Right.
I will teach them some of the things that I know as well, as long as they do it respectively.
Right.
Some people look into the paranormal for power reasons, and it's not about power for me. It's the power to understand and the knowledge to understand.
Mhm.
It's not to use it in a bad way. It's to understand everything that's going on in this world. So
Right.
and you're constantly learning. And when you stop learning, then your time's done. But I always keep doing research and looking into things. So, but yeah, it's crossed my mind. I could probably, if I knew the right people and could sit down and talk with them about stuff, because if I were to do a movie, I don't want all the high tech special effects in it. I don't want it to be the way you see it in the movies. I mean, it would have to be like a light special effect, as in the way I would see it. So some of us are able to see spirits. That part would have to be like a special effect so they could understand what we're seeing.
Right.
But I don't want all the high tech. I want it to be exactly what happens like on an investigation and how it actually came out and what happened.
Right.
Not all the super hype. Because like I
It's
said,
kind of like a reality show type of thing, but
right.
a movie.
Right. That's the way I'd want it, because I think we have a friend named Drew. He did a really good job when he was doing When Night Comes. I noticed that he never used a lot of special effects. He left it for your imagination on how you perceive it, and that's how we all perceive things when we see them.
Right.
So that's the way I'd want the movie. Say what actually happened and explain it without all the high tech stuff. It might have to have a little bit, but not a lot. I don't want it to be, I want it to be more like a documentary, or to really explain how some of us go out into the field and actually investigate. You know what I mean?
Right.
And not have it to be so dramatized, because sometimes it's not. Sometimes it can get pretty sticky.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can get pretty heavy. And like I said, I've seen some pretty interesting stuff that a lot of people may not have seen.
Right. Well, that's the good thing about being a film creator, or or making films, or that you can do those type of things. I love it because I get to play characters, and that I don't get to play, or I'm not that character, or have nothing to do with that character. We're not even alike, but I get that role, and I get to understand
Mm-hmm.
that role, that person that I'm playing, and that's the exciting thing about filming. You have
And even like for instance, with you, being able to have the opportunity to meet the person that actually did it. If
all right.
he's not playing the part or had the opportunity to play the part, that you actually get to sit and talk with him
Yes,
and see it from his point of view, and tell his story the way,
it
the
went down.
best you can. Yeah, the best way you can.
Right. And then you got to try to play his character, his moods, his mood swings, and that's when you get really deep into the character. Um, uh, that's always good for people that got like those main roles, like, the main role people that play characters that way, especially like true stories. A lot of them do that type of research where if the person that's still alive, that whatever character they're playing, they like to talk to them and ask them questions, and you know maybe even hang out with them for a week or
Mhm.
two, just to kind of see how they move, how they act, in real life, so that they can mimic that when it's time to shoot the film.
Right.
um, some just got to read, and you got to read it, and put that character in your head, and just imagine how character would play or is in real life. So, it's filming is not as easy as people think. It's hard, because at the same time, right, Sean, that you're acting, you got to memorize the lines, and sometimes you talking to multiple people in one role. I might be talking to you. I might be talking to Kathy. I might be talking to Liz. And so Kathy
Mhm.
said something. I got to jump in. Then I got to wait for you to say your part so I can jump in. And then I got to wait
Mhm.
for Kathy, Liz, and you to say something so I can come back in and say my other line. So, that process there is not easy, to make it look real without someone messing up and say, "Oh, that wasn't my line," or
Right.
go ahead of time. So
Right. And see, one of the things I actually kind of thought of considering too, if it was to be some type of a movie, would be actually have the person just go with us and just film it live and work around it. Work around actually what happened. There ain't no script. There ain't no nothing. It's just like when I go out and do a live investigation.
right.
It's not scripted. You see it live as is, and that's the way I'd want it.
Right. So you could do that if you got a good editor that can cut it and paste certain parts of it with another part. You can probably create a short film like that and just add maybe some other extra stuff like some noise, some sound, just to make it look more beefier or better, and
right. But see, that's one of the things I like to do is when I'm out on an investigation and we do it live, you see it exactly the way we see it. So there's no tampering with it. I don't want things to be tampered with.
Right.
I want people to be able to see it for what it is and the authenticity it is, because that's exactly what happened. I don't want there to be any doubt, because that's why I'll either debunk it and try to figure it out, because I know a lot of people edit stuff and it kind of makes you wonder sometimes. And I don't want to edit. I've never believed in editing any type of stuff, and I never will do that. So, but I mean, if they were going to actually make a movie or something, I guess that would be up to the director on how he wanted to do that stuff. But I want it to be as authentic as it actually could be. That would be the best thing to do.
Okay. So what advice would you give anyone that wants to come into the paranormal world? What advice would you give them?
One is safety always should come first. Make sure you're protected. Believe in what you believe. I mean, everybody's got their own beliefs. Go in with an open-minded. Don't always think just one way, because there may be another answer to it. And, just be you. You don't have to prove to anybody else, just find the evidence for you. And if you want to share it, like I said, it'd be great if everybody did share the information they got, because it could open up whole new doors for everybody. Because like I said, somebody could be sitting on the key to something I have, or vice versa. And, be willing to talk to other people. It's an expensive hobby. It's very expensive. I mean, REM pods are like $100. Wow. Tesla coils are like $80 in some places. So equipment's not cheap. And then you got to figure in, travel expenses, food, etc. So, I mean, it does get expensive. So that's one thing I would like to start doing more, is being able to circulate some type of money for the team, so that when we go on investigations, we can bring these locations, because even some of the locations charge to go there. And, some of us can't afford to go to these locations all the time either. It does get very expensive. And, like I said, I'm going to do the best I can and bring you everything that I can bring you guys, during my show and during my investigations that I can. It's not going to be anything rigged or anything like that. It's going to be live as is, and what you see is what you get, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Right,
so,
right.
Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself.
Right. Well, I want to thank you, Sean, for coming on, giving me the time to come on the show. You're amazing. And people, please follow Sean Ellis. Sean, tell them where they can find you and follow you.
You can find me on Facebook under the Eternal X Wolfpack Paranormal, the podcast. And you can find me on YouTube as well. And the All Access Television Network is actually sharing some of my stuff as well, which is really cool. But yeah, you can find me on all three of those locations every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I normally have guests on every Sunday. And this weekend I have Supernatural, Paranormal, and Murders. Those guys will be on there. I know I didn't say that right, but those guys will be on there. We'll be talking about some of serial killers and maybe if they're linked to some of the paranormal as well. Those guys really have a great show, and you can catch them with Miss Lee Brown and Miss John or Gwen Johns and Mr. Gormley and Mr. Rohan. The four of them do that show. And they do an amazing job on that show. So you need to check those guys out when you get a chance to as well.
Right. Well, people, there you go. You can follow Sean on his page. And Sean is a great guy, good friend of mine. He's amazing. And also I want to thank all you guys for tuning in and supporting the show, supporting my guests. And Sean, I want to thank you, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. Folks, that was Sean Ellis, great guy, good friend of mine. He's amazing, folks. That's what it's all about, talking to people and finding out what their experiences are behind the scene, when they are investigating, and get some knowledge if you don't know too much about investigation, or if you having some type of abnormal thing happening in your home and you don't know how to deal with it. Reach out to me, reach out to Sean. We can get you some help on how to deal with situations like this. That's what we're here for, to help people. I just want to thank all of you guys for coming in, because you guys are so amazing. And, like I said, I'm just proud of you, all of you guys. And thanks again for being who you guys are and supporting my team. So, before I head out, I'm gonna play a song, that I love to play with my man Sean Trapp. I like my rap music, folks. I love my rap music. So I'm gonna close this up with some Sean Trapp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it's Sean Trapp, man. I be hearing so much talking, man. I don't pay no mind, man. I be drinking niggas.
Big shout out to Connecticut, Sean Trapp in the building.
Yeah. I just wanna do music, but it ain't stupid. I just love my little brother, I was gonna do it. I got people switching on, keep the eye on me. Yeah, I love my auntie, but why ain't lying on me? A cut got shot, he ain't shoot nothing. If it would've been me, I would've blew something. I'm Leroy's son, I don't play that. That be real situation, got my face back. Lot of niggas tell my sister I'ma bang shit. I'ma shoot a nigga up on who we hang with. Gotta run to the bad nigga, fuck beef. I don't want mom crying over white sheets. Came home fucked up, I ain't had cake. Can't let it help you out, they put it in your face. I be on different states for the rental plates. Try to rob me from a chain found in the lake. Big track chain niggas.
Hey.
Brand new whip niggas. Hey. Got a bad bitch niggas. Hey. When you on top niggas. Yeah. Trap bad bass, kinda heavy though. Screen K-Town, don't play me on the radio. All do is rap, no more selling crack. Shit my bitch say, get a nigga clap. Man in front of Kelly, love me in the jets. Young little nigga, I was on the steps. Couple years later, hit the west side. So crack down the head, he love me, man, on both sides. Get your bitch wet, no boat ride. Hand on the net like a bow tie. Beef with my brother, then we both ride. Everywhere we go, we keep that boat ride. Trap money on me, better at the Navy. 1K for a feature, nigga, better pay me. Aim on me, dancing with a two-step. Try to give me deep throat, cool neck. Big track chain niggas.
Hey.
Brand new whip niggas.
Hey.
Got a bad bitch niggas. Hey. When you on top niggas.
Y'all already know Don Big Show live. Directly 617 Boston. We in the building. Big shout out to Sean Track. Y'all know the vibe. Y'all already know the vibes, man. It's my music, my man Sean Track. Big shout out to Sean Track. Big shout out to John Holly for being a great artist that he is. Big shout out to Sean Ellis for coming on the show. Big shout out to you guys for supporting the show tonight. YouTube, y'all know the vibes. Facebook, people around the world, y'all know the vibes. Thank you for supporting me. UK, y'all know the vibes. Liz, we in the building, and I'll see you guys later on this weekend with director and actor Caleb White. You'll be on the show. So tune in and thank you guys so much. And y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go with peace, love, respect. Y'all know the vibes. I'm out of here. Peace.